Welcome to the Badass Babe Manifest podcast. The vibe here is how to manifest in a simple and fun way, implementing my abundance DNA method without the bullshit, overcomplicated hacks or fluff. I'm your host, Kelly Pender, your spiritual manifestation coach, and together we're going to uncover your unique abundance frequency, step into who the fuck you are unapologetically, and remove the limitation caps as well as playing it small to open yourself the F up to the unlimited abundance, success, and money to easily flow into your life and or business. Let's manifest that shit. Hello, my love. Welcome back to another episode of the Badass Babe Manifest motherfucking podcast. My energy today is on a different level. Even though I have a cold, there's just some potent juice coming through. So here we go. Whatever is coming out of my mouth is going to activate you. I just know it. I'm feeling this energy of activation. And what's been going on behind the scenes in my world is just so much potency. Everyone is just shifting their identity, stepping into who the fuck they are and who they came here to be. They're doing things that they've always said that they wanted to do, and they're making it happen with more money, more love, more joy, and just more fuck yes in their lives. And it's so fun to witness and guide them and hold space for them. And I actually have a super special way that we can work together that I've never offered before. I have 2 spots available for 1 month of private coaching with me and 30 days of money and abundance manifestation, where we will create new money-making neural pathways to attract aligned clients and sales. And you'll have me in your back pocket for 30 days to provide you with the accountability, coaching, and mentorship to take the action to move forward in your business and do the damn thing. We are going to blow your business the fuck up into the success, abundance, wealth that you know that you're meant for. And we're going to do it together, my love. So if this offering, this super special offering, if this is calling you, please DM me on Instagram, the word VIP. I only have 2 spots available for this month of June. So if you've been wanting to work with me and this feels like a fuck yes, DM me and we'll get everything set up. Okay, so if you're new to the pod, what we do is once a month, I pull from an oracle card deck that either you vote on or that's calling to me. And I call in your angels, guides, ascendant masters of 100% pure love and light for the listeners of the Badass Babe Manifest podcast. And I pull a card. I read it and then I channel what's coming through so that your soul can receive the guidance for this month and just allow you to move forward, designing and creating your most fuck yes life. And I'm pulling today from the Star Seed Oracle deck. This one from last month came in second place when I shared to my stories what card deck would you like, and you voted, and this was second place. So that's what's happening this month. And the card that I just pulled is the Cosmic Heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, and to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care most about, and to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks, and to make your life one big moving prayer. And the Starseed Soul Inquiry says, how can you make your life a moving prayer? So feel into anything that's coming your way before I share some nuggets of wisdom. And what's interesting with this card is the word potency is just right front and center, standing out and wants to be talked about. And right before I hit record, I was actually voice memoing one of my clients, and I was congratulating her on her first group program that she led virtually, which is amazing. And I was asking her how it went. And what's so cool is that in her program, she was teaching people to come back home to themselves, to come within, connect to themselves, and to quiet all the other noise around them. And I was just checking in and asking how she was feeling and how she was celebrating and all the magic. And I said, you actually inspired me, because this coming week, I want to not consume anyone else's content, because I notice that when I do that, and this is something I speak with my clients about all of the time. So I'm going to say I notice that when we do that, what we're doing is we're looking at how everyone else is running their lives, leading their business, the content that they're creating, and we're just looking, seeking, searching, waiting, comparing. And that comparison is feeding the imposter syndrome, which is feeding that feeling of I'm not enough, which is feeding that belief of I need to prove myself, which is why we are pushing, which is why we are feeling like we need to do more, which is why we feel like we cannot relax or rest, or everything's going to crumble and fall to the ground, which is feeding the neural pathway of lack. Take a breath with me. Okay, so I said to her, I'm taking a break from consuming, and I'm just going to create content, and that's it. Because I feel that I desire to plug, like you can visualize a freaking plug in a wall or whatever the hell it's called, socket if you want. I want to plug, anchor back into my potency, back into myself. And I actually use the word juice. And what I said to her in the voice memo, I was like, I don't want to consume this week. I only want to create, because I want to be really just like in my own juice. I've been using the word juice a lot this week. So I want to be in my own juice. And when I am consuming other people's content, the potency, the power of my juice gets mixed with everyone else's juices, and it just kind of like waters it down, and it gets kind of funky. And then it's just not as me. It's not me. And I can feel myself when I overconsume. I feel myself trying to be like other people. And you hear me say all of the time, being like others or being normal is boring. Or as I say, when we're in our safety identity, for me, this is no offense to anyone, I always say boring basic bitch, right? I don't want to be the boring basic bitch. And that's me and my safety identity, by the way. And when I'm over consuming, that's who I become. And my juice gets just like, I don't even want to sip my own juice, right? It feels like I don't even know who I am. So this is an invitation for you to anchor into your own potency. And the devotion piece, it's like, how can you devote, let's just say this next 7 days, because it takes 7 days for a biological change to occur. How can you devote this next 7 days? That's all you need. I just get to commit 7 days to devote to myself, to my own skills, my own gifts, my own magic, my own wisdom, my own juice that only I possess. How can I devote myself to me? Right? And so you get to think about what feels good for you. What is fun for you? What makes you feel just like, relaxed, fulfilled, content, and here's the big one, enough. What allows you to feel enough? Because when we are mixing our juices, that just kind of sounded sexual, but that's funny. So when we're diluting our juice with others, what tends to happen is that we do not feel enough, right? And I've said this before. Again, if you're new here, welcome. I've said this before, but one of the biggest barriers, or money blocks, as others call them, is feeling not enough. when we don't feel enough, we are in a state of resistance. We're not in a state of allowing, right? Our neural pathways are ingrained to lack. So we're not allowing more in. We're not allowing our desires in because that feeling of not enough is feeding that neural pathway of lack. So for the next 7 days, how can you devote time, your day? I'm not saying 24/7. I'm saying 30 seconds. Okay. Like let it be really easy. 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, somewhere in between there. Can you devote time to yourself each and every day over these next 7 days so that you feel yourself plugging back in, connecting back to, grounding back into yourself? Because when you do that, you're going to feel good, which is our number one job in this life. Your number one priority is to feel fucking good. You're going to feel good. And then from simply feeling good, you're going to start to show up a little bit differently. You're going to move differently. You're going to take action a little bit differently. And that's when you plug in, you turn your light on, you spark your fire, you are magnetic as fuck. And that's when you are in your potency. Ready to confidently lead your abundant, soul-led business and heart-centered career unapologetically? It's time to disrupt programming that kept us small. We are breaking all of the rules and entering into the frequency where money and magic responds to our way of being. The Badass Babe community is a space where we're playing in the quantum on the frequency of your manifestations. You'll have my mentorship to help you gain clarity to move forward with your successful and wealthiest business and or career, exploding with clients, sales, and money flying into your PayPal, lighting up your phone on the reg in a way unlike any other without adding in a million spiritual rituals. It's time to say F logic, let's quantum manifest. I have a super special podcast bonus just for my listeners like you. To join the BBC today with that special bonus, please DM me on Instagram, BBC, and I'll send you all of the details to join us, and I'll see you inside. Right? And going back to this card, it says to get back to the essence of what you're about. And again, what I call it, being in your safety identity is boring basic bitch, right? Being in your essence, the truth of who you are, that's what you're about. That's your brand. That's your mission. That's your message. That's what you came here to make a huge fucking impact on the world. That is you. I love that. That's what you're about. And when we're over consuming, when we're comparing, when we're in an imposter syndrome and not feeling enough, we get kind of like confused about what we're about. And we tend to disconnect to who we are and the truth of who we are. And I don't want to live that life that way. I don't want to be confused with who I am. I want to be solid in who I am. I want to be certain in who I am. I want to have conviction in my messaging, in my offerings, in my work, right? I want to fucking own it. Own what I do, own who I am, own who I'm being. Right? And another powerful message that's coming through, I've said this many times before, but it's wanting to be said now. I know that many of us are seeking clarity, right? And for me, whenever I'm seeking clarity, it's because I'm confused with who I am, with who I'm being, with what I'm about. I'm not connected to my truth. I'm not in my potency, and I'm not devoting time to myself, right? And this can be so simple as just placing your hand over your heart and asking yourself, what is it that I desire? What is it that I desire? And if that's not coming through, then ask yourself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? Let it be simple, let it be easy, and go from there. How do I want to feel? What is it that I desire? Right? And that's something that you can do every day. Carve out 30 seconds, 30 minutes if you'd like, somewhere in between there, to ask yourself, hands over your heart, how do I desire to feel? What is it that I desire? The more that you do that, the more that you're going to connect to your heart, your truth, the truth of who you are, where your juice, your wisdom, your skills that only you possess, aren't watered down with everyone else's, whatever the fuck, everyone else's juice, right? Our juice no longer desires to be tainted. I want to be my own flavor, my own essence, my own I want it. I crave that, right? And that's the clarity that you're seeking. The clarity that you're seeking is just simply you, what you're about, who you're being, right? You get to decide that. And when we're seeking, searching, waiting for others to tell us that, that's when we don't have any clarity. That's when we're confused. And that's when we feel disconnected. And looking at the last sentence of this card, it says to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks. What is it that makes you come alive? What is it that makes you feel joyful, free, fulfilled, whole, complete, enough? Let it be simple. Let it be easeful. Let it feel good. Allow yourself to feel fucking good. That is your number one priority in this life. What would make me feel good today? Let it come through and allow yourself to have it. Allow yourself to fucking have it. That's the missing piece. We don't allow ourselves to have it. So maybe I'm hearing an energetic permission slip that wants to come through. Can you tell yourself right now, I'm allowed to fucking have it, or whatever verbiage you use. I'm allowed to have it. I'm allowed to have it. I can have it. It's mine. And own it. Own it, right? Give yourself that permission slip that you're allowed to have it. You're allowed to feel good. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be loved. You're allowed to feel love. You're allowed to feel enough. You are allowed to feel fucking good. You're allowed to feel free. You're allowed to have it all. You're allowed to have it all. Okay? So feel into anything that's coming your way. But yeah, ooh, girl, let's just tap into our juice. What's your flavor? What's your name? What's your number? All right, potency. We're tapping into our potency. We're devoting time for ourselves. You can say this whole month if you want, but if you're like, let's start with 7 days, let's start there. Let's start with 7 days and go from there. Devoting time to yourself, tapping into your truth, tapping into your desires, anchoring into your own potency, and turning your magnetism the fuck on, right? Making moves from there, showing up from there. And this, my love, is a very subtle way of creating a new neural pathway, because you are pattern interrupting, getting out of lack, and creating a new neural pathway where you feel enough, where you feel worthy, where you feel fulfilled, whole, and complete, because you're allowing yourself to. All right. So this practice that we're doing over the next 7 days, plus, if you feel so called, is creating a new neural pathway. I just snuck that in there for you. So again, let me know what comes through for you. You can DM me on Instagram. You can voice memo me. I love celebrating you. And if you so feel called and you're listening on Apple Podcasts right now, I would love if you could take 2 seconds to scroll down and just tap the 5-star rating. I would be so freaking grateful, and you are supporting my mission of impacting the world. And again, if you heard me share in the beginning, I have 2 spots open for that very special 1-month private coaching container with me, and 30 days of money and abundance manifestation, accountability, coaching, and mentorship with yours truly. If you're feeling called to grab one of those 2 spots, DM me on Instagram the word VIP, and we'll get you all set up. All right, my love, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy June, and I'll see you in the next episode. That was so much freaking fun. If you love this episode as much as I did, please take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at @the_badassbabe so I can share and celebrate you. And I have a special gratitude gift for you. If you're feeling called, please give us a 5-star rating and write your review on Apple Podcasts. Take a screenshot, submit it. Let me know, and I'll send you instant access to my Fuck Yes Money hypnosis as a thank you. And I'll see you in the next episode.